I recently found out one of my former law school classmates was running for office. At first, I was shocked. But then I went, oh yeah, we're adults now. The news also made me feel inferior. It's like if I saw my former classmate, they asked me what I'm doing, and I went, I rarely mention my law degree because people are often shocked I'm not using it. Like it's the lightning in Mario Kart. Americans frequently judge each other based on our careers, and we frequently judge those careers based on money, power, and fame. 3 keys to happiness, and 3 reasons why many people go to law school. That and we're too squeamish for med school. But they weren't my reasons. In elementary school, I wanted to go into journalism because I was great at writing in my journal. In middle school, I wanted to be a mayor because I loved SimCity. In high school, I wanted to be a politician because maybe I'd go even further than mayor. Finally, in college, I initially wanted to go to law school. I'd say it was to do well, do good, or make the most of my skills, but really I just wanted to please Mom. She chased her dreams by working in theater, and no kid of hers was going to make that mistake. So out of my nerdy friend group in college, I was the only one not majoring in game development, which at the time was a promising field. My friends and I played Brawl, watched Black Lagoon, bought DVDs. I loved hanging out with my friends, and envied them for pursuing their passion. So I mapped things out and realized if I switched majors from pre-law to game development at the end of freshman year, I could still graduate after just 2 more years. Didn't want all those AP exams going to waste. I was excited, but I made one mistake. I told Mom. She went, let me get this straight. Instead of going to law school, you want to make video games? I went, kidding. To be clear, Mom wasn't paying my tuition. I had a free ride thanks to scholarships, so it's not like I depended on her to stay in college. Even so, I desperately wanted to please Mom, so that's all she had to say to keep me from switching majors. I was such a pushover, she barely had to lift a finger to keep me under her thumb. I got a BA, then a JD, then my first real job. At first, I liked it. I was good at it. And the work was interesting enough for me to enjoy, but not so interesting that I was turning a hobby into a job. But eventually, the honeymoon period ended. I don't like what the legal profession does to people, including me. Today, I come off as calm, but there was a time when the law made me have no chill. To quote 1L, the turbulent true story of a first year at Harvard Law School, it is during the first year that many law students come to feel, sometimes with deep regret, that they are becoming persons strangely different from the ones who arrived at law school in the fall. And to quote Fourth Wing, a novel about a military academy for dragon riders, this place can warp almost everything about a person. It cuts away the BS and the niceties, revealing whoever you are at your core. That dragon academy is like law school, only safer. The legal profession attracts certain types, then worsens their unhealthiest traits. Valuing work above all else, including one's own health. Valuing victory above all else, including ethics. And perfectionism, to the point of being pedantic, academic, and just plain rude. I should know. I was one of those people. I focused so much on work, I ignored my deteriorating health. I did whatever my boss told me, even if it went against my environmentalism. And when proofreading others' work, I cared more about pointless details than the big picture, or their feelings. I didn't just lose the forest for the trees. I lost the tree for the leaves. The legal profession also made me bitter. In law school, I participated in an advocacy competition. I advanced to the final round of 4 students, then came in last. Generally, I'm not competitive and don't mind losing, not even in Smash. But with law school's emphasis on winning, I couldn't help but feel resentful. I resented my opponents for doing well. I somehow also resented the judges for saying I came in last. And most of all, I resented myself for not being good enough. I told myself, they all hated me. That competition aside, I was good at legal research and writing, so you'd think I was a good fit for the law. But that doesn't mean I always enjoyed it. The law isn't the best place for creative people. It's steeped in routine, tradition, and doing things the same way over and over. Frequently, I suggested something, and my boss went, "That's not how we do it." And I thought, yeah, that's what makes this a suggestion. The law also isn't the best place for people who like to laugh. It's like church. You laugh laugh at things that aren't that funny just because an authority figure, that is, the priest or your boss, was trying to make a joke, or just because the bar is so low. The drag queen Trixie Mattel once reacted to news fails, including an anchor who cracked up reading about a pig named Chris P. Bacon. Trixie said something that also applies to the law. I get the sense that these are humorless environments and nothing funny ever happens, because Crispy Bacon is funny, it's not this funny. I would like to invite you to a comedy show. For these and other reasons, just a few years into my job, I was miserable. But my self-esteem was so low, I didn't think my misery mattered. In fact, I considered keeping my job even after I'd gotten rid of my 6-figure law school loans, which would take over a decade. I could have spent all that money on a house, or something else that's actually useful. Luckily, I changed my mind a few years short of a decade when Mom passed away. I finally realized how foolish it had been to go into law just for her. Once she was dead, what was the point? Plus, she never had to live my life, yet I let her steer me into a career that severely damaged my physical and mental health. If Mom really wanted me to avoid her mistakes, she wouldn't have put me on a path to an early grave. In her memoir, I'm Glad My Mom Died, author and former child actor Jeanette McCurdy wrote, "My mom pushed me into a career I didn't want. I'm grateful for the financial stability that career has provided me, but not much else. I was not equipped to handle the entertainment industry and all of its competitiveness, rejection, stakes, and harsh realities. Like Jeanette's mom, mine wanted to live vicariously through me. If Mom wanted a lawyer in the family so bad, she should have gone to law school." I'm reminded of season 1 of Harley Quinn. Spoilers. Harley dumps Joker, her abusive partner, yet Harley still wants what she wanted back when she was with Joker, to join the Legion of Doom, which he belongs to. In other words, even after leaving Joker, Harley still defines success, as he did. But the only thing Joker was right about was which colors are best. Similarly, even after Mom got Alzheimer's, I still defined success, as did she and so many others. Money, power, and fame. It took me a while to learn better. To quote Jeanette McCurdy again, "There are things more important than money, and my mental health and happiness fall under that category." After all, if money buys happiness, why are billionaires miserable? I also now realize, when I felt inferior because my former law school classmate was running for office, it wasn't because I'd have trouble justifying myself to them. It was because I had trouble justifying them to myself. Mom may be gone, but there was still a mom-like voice in my mind asking, "Why aren't you running for office?" Luckily, there was also a bigger voice saying, "Because I'd have more fun playing SimCity." Thanks for watching. If you're in a career, leave a comment about how you feel about it. Like and subscribe for more. And remember, if you can choose which field to pursue, don't hand that choice to your parents.